A dictionary definition of white privilege would say that it is the advantage enjoyed by a white person beyond that commonly experienced by non-white people in the same social, political, and economic situation. This advantage is based solely on their whiteness. One website defined white privilege as a set of advantages and/or immunities that white people benefit on a daily basis beyond those common to all others. White privilege can exist without white people's conscious knowledge of its presence, and it helps to maintain the racial hierarchy in this country. The lady at angryblackwoman.com says, "White privilege exists whether you know it, acknowledge it, or understand it. Any attempts to convince me that you, a white person, don't have white privilege will result in laughter, mockery, and possibly a beatdown," unquote. White privilege is so massive and yet so invisible, at least to those who don't want to believe it exists, that they will go to great lengths to deny the existence of white privilege in this society. And with good reason. Think about it. Much of the discussion of affirmative action up to now ends with a question about whether blacks got what they have with a little push from affirmative action. But once there is an admission of the existence of white privilege, what was once a black problem quickly becomes a white problem. And the question about whether blacks benefited from affirmative action becomes a question of whether whites benefited from white privilege. White privilege is a powerful force in our society, so that we need to take a moment to catalog just a few of the many privileges that this society attaches to a white skin. Here then is the white privilege checklist. White privilege is being in a poker game where you are always dealt all the aces and the kings in the deck. White privilege is winning with all those aces and kings, then turning to the non-white players and lecturing them on the importance of playing the cards you are dealt. White privilege is viewing the beauty of the U.S. Capitol and the White House, knowing that people of your color were totally responsible for these magnificent creations. White privilege is arriving for a job interview confident that the interview will look like you and that your skin color will not raise a lot of non-job related questions in his or her mind. White privilege is never being congratulated for a personal achievement because you are a credit to your race. White privilege is seeing your personal achievements recognized in the mainstream press without a comment in the lead paragraph about you being the first of your race to do this, that, or whatever. White privilege is rebelling against the organization, apologizing, then being welcomed back into the managerial fold, and being thankful that you were not black, where if you once jumped bad, you would have to stay bad. White privilege is being a graduate student in a difficult science course at an Ivy League school without the professor and the other students silently asking themselves, how the hell did he get in here? White privilege is arriving late for a meeting and not having that transgression charged against your race. White privilege is making it into the middle class and not having the others in that class asking you what you are doing to uplift those you left behind, unquote. White privilege is being caught in a street riot and being overjoyed upon hearing, "The police are coming. Help is on the way." This checklist has taken up much of the time that we have for this session, yet it doesn't even scratch the surface of what is out there. It's just a quick look at the definition and operation of white privilege. In the next session, session 3, we will focus on the responsibility of affirmative action to unravel white privilege in the economic sector of the American society. We will meet right here on ewemedia.com. Join us.